Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Carmine Sabia here for Explain America. And wow, the Bidens just got some really bad news after they got done celebrating Hunter Biden's recent plea deal. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out and they help our channel continue to grow. So, James Comer, who is head of House Accountability and Oversight, he had some very bad news for the Bidens. And it's that you're not out of the woods yet, Joe and Hunter. You see, there's more evidence that's been found against them. Financial evidence, according to Mr. Comer, bank records and the like, that he says, he alleges, will show major corruption in the Biden family. This is perhaps the most ginormous story in the history of presidential corruption ever, for any president ever to have while they're in office. It looks like the crime syndicate of this family, if what he's saying is true, goes back decades. It's absolutely staggering. And it's about to hit the Bidens like a freight train, well, that doesn't get derailed, you know, with Mayor Pete in charge and stuff. What I want you to do is I want you to take a listen to what Mr. Comer had to say and draw your own conclusions.
Absolutely not. Let me assure the American people, we have bank records that came in this week that we're going through that we think are going to show more wires from more countries. Remember, we've just disclosed 2 countries thus far. We've disclosed China and Romania. There are still some more Chinese wires that we have yet to present to the American people, and there are a lot of wires, mysterious wires from Ukraine and Russia that we're about to expose. So this is just beginning for the Bidens. All the Department of Justice is doing is standing in our way. But even with all the obstacles that Merrick Garland has thrown in front of the House Oversight Committee, all the obstacles that the Treasury Cabinet has thrown and the FBI has thrown, with all the negative media coverage from the mainstream media, we are still producing results every day that shows this family, the President of the United States family, has received millions and millions of dollars from our adversaries all over the world, and they can't explain why. They can't explain what they did to produce that money.
Can you give us any sort of idea if there's a link? Do you have the string? I know it goes through shell companies, but can you get it to the big guy, Mr. 10%? Can you get there?
Well, we're going to start bringing some people in that have been consulting with us. Obviously, those shell companies were created to never be found, but we found them. We had people that have advised us along the way. Remember, the Bidens have hooked and crooked a lot of people along the way. They always had a partner, someone to actually do the work, to get it set up, and then they would steal the money. That's the Biden business model. So we've had a lot of people that have been advising us. We know the role that Joe Biden played, and make no mistake, he was the big guy. So we're going to start bringing people in for depositions. We're going to begin with Devin Archer in a couple of weeks, and then you're going to see more names that you're familiar with that are going to come forward, and they're just going to tell exactly what they know and what role Joe Biden played. Remember, Joe Biden said he had no knowledge of his family's business dealings, and we'll see if that's true.
I remember a golf picture. I think Devin Archer was one of the 4 people in that picture of golf, and Joe Biden happened to be one.
Now, it looks to me like this is really bad news for the Biden family. I still don't know how this man is going to run in 2024 with this hanging over his head. I still predict that before the next election, there will be an impeachment. That during this impeachment, evidence is going to be shown to the American people that cannot be ignored. That the mainstream media is going to have to cover. And if you saw a video from earlier today, you'll see that the mainstream media is hammering the White House with questions about this stuff, to the point where Karine Jean-Pierre basically had a meltdown in front of reporters. This is not going away. CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, NBC, the major networks are reporting on this now. It's not just a Fox News thing. It's not just a conservative news thing. We have put the pressure on the mainstream media networks to the point where they have to cover this. Why? And I'll say it again. It's because you guys share videos like this. When you share these videos, that increases the pressure on the media to have to cover this and show it to people who would not otherwise see it. That's why the liking and the commenting and the sharing and the subscribing, those are all super important, because yes, it helps our channel grow, but it also helps get the message out there, puts pressure on the media, and it helps our cause to finally get justice in this country. So I'm going to ask you again to do those things. And of course, again, I want you to comment. Do you think anything's going to happen to the Bidens? Do you think they're going to skate by again? Do you agree with me that impeachment will happen, but it'll happen closer to the election? I love to read your guys' comments. I know you probably don't know that, but at night when I'm doing nothing, I will scroll the comments and read them. And I love the stuff you guys say. Like, you have a lot of good thoughts. Gives me ideas for next video sometimes. You know, I'm like, oh, you know, that person had a good point. So please make sure you're commenting. It means a lot to me. Guys, we love you. God bless you. Take care, everybody.